because you stood me up 3 times. It's because you stood me up 3 times. But you had me there. You had me feeling like you're gonna do something, and then you act like you didn't want to do nothing. When you going to get off, because there's people that's out there that's waiting.
You didn't have to say that.
I'm saying that because you were dealing with the people. Why is it wrong for me to say that people interested in me? You saying don't do that?
Oh my God, I don't want to talk about this no more, because you stick to what you saying, and I'm gonna stick to how I'm feeling, and it's not gonna end, and you're gonna be.
This scalding hot tea is upending our preconceived notions of Brat and Judy's relationship. The couple has been pretending as if everything is picture perfect, despite LisaRaye's constant Instagram discoveries. But here's the joke. With a wealth of unquestionable receipts at her disposal, Lisa has accused Judy of being anything other than the loyal ride-or-die friend that we all thought she was, and coming to some really questionable financial conclusions. Although it turns out that LisaRaye had been surreptitiously observing Judy's actions from the start, things are starting to make sense now, and it's messier than we initially believed. Let's make one thing clear. We pay attention when LisaRaye tells about her younger sister, but we must remember that help did not show up. Judy has been presenting herself in the media as Brat's fairy godmother, but this is when things go wrong. Brat's devoted followers are aware that Judy stepped in and kept her from falling to her lowest point. Is Judy engaging in shady deals and scheming that seem like they might fit in a Wall Street playbook? She might have been charging interest all along, which is the humor. Monetary, but here's the catch. Judy, the brilliant CEO of Kaleidoscope, has built an empire worth an astounding $40 million. When LisaRaye states bluntly that although Brat is out here barely making ends meet while trying to escape bankruptcy, Judy has been using her wealth to keep the business going. Consider Brat using only $200 to play. It is more than just a game, though, as LisaRaye discloses that Judy is also funding Brat's children, including her own mother, even if she owns the park, the boardwalk, and every Monopoly card in between. Here's the real kicker. Judy seems to be involved in a power and financial struggle, with her loved ones playing a part in an unreal drama. According to LisaRaye, it's worthwhile to unpack the mess that housewives are. Even though Judy has been providing care diligently and is fully aware that Brat is determined to carry out her goals, Judy has reportedly given Brat a serious warning if she doesn't stay out of jail and continue to assist her husband until he faces consequences. Judy's promise to cease financial support is concerning, but there's more. LisaRaye claims that Judy limits Brat access to basic essentials in addition to giving her ultimatums when she violates the rules. This has nothing to do with luxury, items like Bentleys or expensive handbags. It's a chaotic, control-hungry relationship. The image of Judy and Brat as a power couple is already waning. Brat's life now feels more like a golden prison than a fairy tale after everything she has gone through. When Judy showed up with her inheritance, it was both terrible and fascinating how money, which had once been a sign of salvation, seemed to be tearing them apart. LisaRaye's disclosures reveal a darker aspect to their relationship and point to a serious violation of trust.
You know, I had never had anybody make me feel the way she made me feel, and the attention to detail that she paid to me, and she just saw a lot of stuff that was going on in my life, and I was like, wow, what is this, and it just felt, I had never felt this way, and I was like, you know what, this is it for me, and I just want this feeling for the rest of my life, and I knew then I wanted. So we were at her mother's house one day just chilling, and she was saying, we had been together already on the low for a while, and she was saying, I'm gonna post it. I was like, no, you're not, I'm gonna post it. So we kept joking about who's gonna post it. And then one day she looked at me, the next day she was like, I posted it. I said, bitch, we came out.
She appears to be trapped in a situation from which she cannot get out, a prisoner of unanticipated circumstances. Although Judy's point of view gives the narrative a new dimension, she maintains her lavish lifestyle while ostensibly serving as a limitless ATM for BR, who has made references to feeling constrained and the tightening of those symbolic golden shackles. Although the opulent lifestyle is true, the question of how much it costs looms large. Despite the lavish chaos, there is tension across the entire family, and the stakes are bigger than ever. Hold on to your chairs because the tea will spill just when you think it can get any hotter. Despite LisaRaye's strong denials of physical abuse, her disclosures about the alleged financial catastrophe cast new light on the situation. and make it impossible to ignore the flaws in the glossy exterior. Everyone is wondering if this couple's relationship is about to dissolve because things are getting out of control and a Brat's reputation is taking a hit. It feels like your favorite romantic comedy has suddenly turned into a psychological thriller behind the scenes, even though the world has witnessed Judy and Brat share their Instagram-worthy moments of laughing, smiling, and kissing. LisaRaye presents a horrifying picture of purported financial and emotional pressure. We all understand how difficult it is to escape someone who controls your income and allegedly keeps you in a constant state of fear. It's a terrible and complex disaster. Judy, who was once commended for being a devoted and loving wife, is now charged with abusing her wealth and influence to manipulate and control a brat. What began as a tale of a wealthy and passionate power couple has now turned into a chaotic one. Their reputation has suffered despite the socially unfounded claims. Is there still a chance for atonement? Or is this the end of the idyllic love story we believe to be true? There is no denying the drama, and the consequences are only beginning. The gaps in broken trust and control are more obvious than ever. The media, as usual, has just served to fan the flames. What might have been a spark that started a raging fire was surrounded by smoke and mirrors. A well-maintained facade with filtered images and charming comments that rarely show the whole picture. But beyond the chaos, there is more to it, and it is more unsettling. Brat's divisive comments about LGBTQ+ marriages and lesbian weddings have caused a stir lately. It's for many folks to ignore the irony. In stark contrast to their past romance, she is transferring dissatisfaction and displeasure with Judy through these comments. Some people are left thinking about the concept of love itself as these issues persist. The purported behind-the-scenes turmoil and the rifts in their seemingly perfect relationship are enough to make anyone question whether love can truly withstand drama, money, celebrity, and power. Unfolding is a complex disintegration of identity, love, and trust. It's not just a catchphrase. The situation has gotten worse as a result of the community's public outrage. Harsh criticism is dominating the discourse, with many calling for Brat to be fired for her provocative words. Rumors concerning Judy's sexual orientation are also circulating, and some claim that this has only added to Brat's emotional distress after she previously suffering from emotional and financial abuse. As a result, Brat finds herself in a whirlpool of introspection and uncertainty. Some speculate that she might be going through a more serious identity crisis, while others believe she is collapsing under the weight of the claimed devastation Judy perpetrated. She is now beginning to doubt her wife's sexual orientation as well as her genuine motivations. The chaos is exacerbated by the ongoing stress of living in the spotlight, where every move is closely watched. In addition to being about a failing, romance, the novel also explores identity, heartbreak, and surviving in the harsh limelight of celebrity. Although the arrival of a kid typically brings joy and unity, the issue has taken an even more serious turn since the baby's birth. Every statement is carefully considered, and the combination of public criticism and personal betrayal can drive anyone to the brink, have only grown worse. If the rumors of adultery turn out to be true, the strain in their relationship may get worse. Brat's increasingly unpredictable conduct has many people questioning if it's the consequence of mistreatment or something more serious. Let's take a time to reflect on what actually transpired. Even though the drama surrounding their lives is the talk of the town and every new revelation feeds the flames, IVF, the miracle of contemporary science, was made using Judy's egg and an anonymous sperm donor. Instead of being a beautiful symbol of progress and love, it has been entangled in the web of chaos enveloping their unique family dynamic, which once seemed to be a modern love story, is now starting to take on the appearance of a live-streamed soap opera. When chaos, deceit, and love are juxtaposed, it might be difficult to discern which is true. Concludes, and the drama begins. The family may have been born into a world of opportunity, but the controversy surrounding them puts the possibility of a victorious and cohesive story at risk. If there are allegations of deceit and abuse, the situation could become considerably more complicated. According to rumors, Brat would try to get primary custody of baby True, which could lead to a contentious legal dispute with Judy because of their biological relationship. Hold any weight? The shocking allegation that Judy has dated other men, a charge that could drastically alter the course of events if Brat can produce evidence of infidelity in court, and the disclosure that their lavish wedding may not have even been a legally binding union. Some contend it was more of a symbolic commitment ceremony, could have a significant impact on the custody dispute. Shift the balance in her favor. But beneath the turbulent court case and swirling accusations, the true tragedy is that the innocent party child is now at the center of an adult battleground where unresolved disputes and personal grievances threaten to overshadow what ought to be a caring and affectionate setting. What began as a story about contemporary love and family has turned into one of heartbreak, treachery, and court battles. The fallout has the potential to completely upend everything, with consequences that might change not only their lives, but also the future of their child. TR is enmeshed in a heated custody battle one moment, and then he is surrounded by two mother's love the next. But what if you were to grow up and discover that your birth story has been marred by manipulation, legal issues, and adultery accusations? That knowledge would be too much to handle. If this custody dispute is made public, it will surely become a picture of media frenzy for everyone, much less a child. Every turn adds more drama to the already volatile scenario, and we are all watching this unfold like a slow-motion train crash. It is true that the individual who most likely carries the greatest load will be the one with the highest stakes. Careless charges are flying in all ways, and the headlines are unrelenting. Situation. The drama that is playing out in front of our eyes feels all too genuine, even though it is a horrible reality. No matter what happens to an innocent child, the real concern on everyone's mind is how to safeguard truth from this chaos. What ought to have been a tale of love and family has become a spectacle that may affect all parties for a long time, but particularly True, whose future is at stake. Let's get right to the heart of the drama, which is at an all-time high right now. Imagine growing up and discovering that every aspect of your life, including the account of your birth and the acrimonious dispute between your parents, is extensively shared online. Anybody, but especially children, must bear the weight of knowing that their load will only grow with time. Moments on Instagram. Everyone is witnessing their lives unravel in real time as what once seemed to be a fairy tale slowly reveals its darker sides. The impact is both public and personal. Judy and Debrat's relationship is anything but simple. There are many levels of conflict, deceit, and ambiguity that cannot be disregarded. It's devastating to think about what this child, who didn't ask for any of this trouble, would have to deal with, but what if everything we thought we knew about their connection turns out to be untrue? They are not at all the flawless picture they once presented, honey. Judy may not have had the best intentions when she interacted with Debrat. What if this entire partnership was a charade? Rumor has it that some people believe Judy saw Bratz as a way to gain more prominence, enhance her brand, and attract new customers. If that's the case, the entire situation is upside down. But there's a twist. Judy was a well-known business magnate who already owned a $40 million corporation. Using Kaleidoscope hair products to create Wave's interview.
I have this thing that I tell her often about even a canal journey. We discussed a lot on it, and I said often, I know I'm inspiration to you, but make sure that you're doing this for me. Oh. Do not do this for me.
Why do you say that to her?
Because I feel like as human beings, people can regret something if they've done it for someone else versus them doing it for themselves. So once we came to an agreement that this was for her and that she was, she was ready and it was from being inspired by, it wasn't for me, that was when, because I was 100% uncomfortable with her, because beginning
I think that is you are such a strong person, and I think that is a very strong thing to say to someone. Don't do it for me. Do it for yourself, and have her reach in to answer that question. Yeah. Because that is a smart thing to ask. Were you nervous to ask her that?
Yes and no. I feel like our relationship is really close, and I feel like I'm very transparent with her along the whole way.
Why would she need to give Debrat more power? At that point, it becomes difficult to distinguish between love, ambition, and manipulation, leading us to wonder if this relationship was ever about love at all, or just about using one another to reach new heights. The deeper we go, the more questions arise, and the answers seem more and more elusive. Every day, more individuals are beginning to suspect Judy's motivations. With some, instead of entering the LGBT+ market out of love, Debrat did it as a stepping stone, a strategic business decision to expand her clientele, attract new business, and boost earnings. There are whispers. Originally conceived as a passionate love story, it was actually a heartless business venture meant to increase Judy's wealth and power. But let's not forget that her reputation is far from. Her smooth facade conceals a complicated web of drama, conflicts, and concerning charges that range from fraud to rumors of unethical behavior. It's increasingly clear that people are starting to question whether the reports of dubious financial transactions and dishonest business activities in her past are even more unsettling. They may paint a whole different picture of her true goals, which were never love at all. Although Judy has built a business empire, is she really the savvy mogul at the price she has paid? The more you discover about the woman we seem to be familiar with, the more you understand that the reality may be far more complex and sinister than it first appears, claims to be. Or is there something much worse hidden below that immaculate appearance?
Let me ask y'all this. Now, how has motherhood been? Because watching y'all journey on screen, I follow y'all on Instagram, I'm seeing it. How has motherhood been for y'all ever since I had a new bundle of joy?
Motherhood for me, everything. I feel like it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. He is so our everything. I mean, just everything is about him in our whole lives now.
And I get to watch her experiences. So this is my fourth child, but I get to watch her fall in love all over again every single day.
I love my stinky baby.
This is your first time being a mom. So, what has that experience been like? What has it been just like, holding your baby, seeing your baby's first certain thing? What's that been like?
I'm a crybaby now. It's been emotional. When I look at him and I see him, I can't believe that he came out of my stomach. I can't believe that I carried him. I can't believe that it's ours. Motherhood is everything. It's a job, though, and you better be ready for it because it takes time. You be tired, but you don't mind because you're so in love.
Now, I know we chatted about who's the better disciplinary. Now, let me ask, now that we've had a baby so far, who is disciplined? Is it?
I smell something.
I smell, okay, rock.
Clearly.
I feel like I know exactly who it is.
Like I said.
Us as Aries.
The lines between reality and fiction get increasingly blurred with every new discovery. As the layers of dishonesty are lifted, what once appeared to be a fairy tale relationship is now more like a high-stakes game of power, money, and manipulation. The real question remains whether Judy is a persistent con artist or if a worse story has not yet been told. But whether or not Brat was purposefully duped is the real question that runs through the entire situation. Into this intricately thought-out scenario. On the surface, social media portrays a happy picture with cute pictures, funny scenarios, and a romantic tale that seems too wonderful to be true. However, let's be honest. Instagram is just a carefully edited highlight. Real. The lines between reality and fiction get increasingly blurred with every new discovery. As the layers of dishonesty are lifted, what once appeared to be a fairy tale relationship is now more like a high-stakes game of power, money, and manipulation. The real question remains whether Judy is a persistent con artist or if a worse story has not yet been told. But whether or not Brat was purposefully duped is the real question that runs through the entire situation, into this intricately thought-out scenario. On the surface, social media portrays a happy picture with cute pictures, funny scenarios, and a romantic tale that seems too wonderful to be true. However, let's be honest. Instagram is just a carefully edited highlight reel.